welcome back to the SSL premiere here at the Nexon Arena, sponsored by Jin-Air. My name is Valdez, with me is Wolf. We're here for the second best of 3 of the night. It will be Maru, fantastic Terran player, up against Stats, the most recent champion here in Korea.
Maru's aggression and control in this matchup, always what he's known for. And I really feel like when you take a look at how this matchup is on paper, it looks fantastic. You mentioned earlier, Stats coming off of the GSL finals just yesterday. Can he really be in peak condition? I mean, I could tell you from personal experience, there was, as is common in Korea after a tournament, a small after party. He was there, greeting the fans, taking photos. The fans are, of course, allowed to go to that party. Freaka made it open. So we were all there. Basically everybody in StarCraft is there. Sats is there. So he's out late last night. He won a finals. He's got a trophy, right? But now he's playing a totally different matchup where Maru has been able to study his matches against Ryung from the GSL semifinals. And, there's definitely the opportunity, because Stats is just an incredible PvT player right now and was even able to beat Ryung, who then beat Maru, who had beaten Maru before. He should theoretically still be able to win this one, but there's a lot against him, right? Maru has a lot of extra cards, extra tools here to work with. So in that way, it's kind of towards his edge. Like if we were doing Pro League predictions, I would definitely bet on Maru tonight.
100%. I mean, he's got the rest, he's got the preparation, he's got the mindset. For Stats, it's like he's probably still in shock and awe of like the whole process of being up on stage, winning a huge championship like that, kissing the trophy, everything, being the big superstar. Now he's like back to work the next day, whereas Maru, he's just been doing the grind here. So would expect Maru to win, but again, Stats, there is a reason why he is the champion, right? Is because he is currently the best player in Korea. So if he can just play kind of a standard game without preparation and still keep up with Maru, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing about this series. If he beats Maru off of preparing for a grand finals, I mean, it just speaks more volumes about his skill. I mean, we saw him crowned a champion yesterday. To win this series would be incredible. And there's 2 aspects to professional StarCraft play in Korea. It's just your ability, your talent, and there's also preparation. And that's why Jin-Air still remaining as a team and having a team house is very powerful, very useful for players like Maru, who were, kings of Pro League. They won the last season. Maru's Pro League record much more impressive than his individual league record. And, it's tough to just rely on skill alone in a best of 3 like this.
Yeah, so Maru, he did take the 2-1 victory the last time he was here. Stats did drop to Solar, actually 1-2, which was kind of surprising for me because, he was preparing for that matchup the week before the GSL finals. So kind of interesting to see the statistics so far, the standings in this league. But guys, we are going to be jumping into set number 1 right now. Maru versus Stats on the big stage.
Maru, 조성주, 스탯, 김대영.
Here in the top right, the blue Terran. It is, of course, Maru from the Jin-Air Green Wings.
And his opponent, the defending GSL champion as of late last evening, it is Sats, representing Splice here. So let's talk about, what it means. As we had a fan in the crowd actually right after the Sats cheer yell, "You won the GSL, now it's time to win the SSL." Really, only Classic has been able to be a Star League champion and a GSL champion. The only player to do so far. Maru is an OSL champion, which, as that tournament, in its current state, does not exist. He may be the only one who ever ends up winning all 3, the OSL, the SSL, and the GSL. But Maru won the first SSL, And nobody really talks about the fact that he was so dominant in Pro League, considered by many to be the top Terran in the world for a very long time. It just doesn't. He was trying to get that elusive GSL title. It's so rare to win multiple tournaments despite having top finishes. Stats has, of course, been a pro gamer for longer than Maru. When Stats played his first Pro League matches, Maru was in diapers, and he just won his first individual league tournament last night. So there's a lot of history in Stats and what he's accomplished as a pro gamer. But he had his first big win, and it's funny that you know, he was never really recognized, I feel, properly for the achievements he's made until last night. And again, achievements and recent wins can't always win out against preparation. Just raw skill versus what Maru has brought to the table tonight, I feel, does make him the favorite in terms of just a best of 3.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to agree. Maybe this, if I feel like if it was,
oh my god, this happened on TV. Wow. I mean, this is just sloppy. You have to send your SCBs down faster than that. That actually absolutely should never happen.
Yeah, so we were talking about preparation. Well, Stats, maybe he's in better form right now. That's something we should talk about as well. You know, he was playing tons of StarCraft in preparation. Yes, it was a different matchup, but at the same time, maybe he was practicing a bit harder, whereas Maru may have not been. You know, just making assumptions here.
Sure, I mean, it's tough for us to know, obviously, but that's just kind of a weird mistake. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. You know, that won't happen to a master level player on the ladder. Just uncharacteristic mistake here by Maru. You know, last time we got to commentate, Maru was in the. Oh man, it's still going at it. Almost got a second kill. The last time we got to commentate Maru together, us, was of course back in the Kespa Cup. This Reaper is looking for trouble. Does go down. And he had one of his worst performances ever at the Kespa Cup, falling super early in that tournament. But he looked really strong in the GSL, nearly getting that semis, losing to Ryung in the TBT, which has always historically been Ryung's best matchup. And for him to win here, I feel like would be, it would feel great. It'd feel like, okay, yes, I didn't make it to that GSL finals I've been coveting for so long, but I've defeated the most recent champion. Ooh. That's a nice placement on that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Look at this third base coming down decently early. I mean, it's a big map, Daybreak. There's no scouting on that side of the map. He took out the Reaper too, which is very important. He's going to deny a lot of scouting here from Maru. And Maru's going to be dealing with this Oracle. I mean, Maru knows this is coming. He got the scout off with that Reaper earlier, but he still has to focus on this in the base.
Yeah, the Widowmine's on cooldown too. I mean, it can't be helpful. He has to use this Viking. And 2 kills, but the Viking will force this away. Ooh, Marines actually might secure the kill. They will. Nicely done.
Okay, this game is pretty weird to start off this best of 3 between these two players.
Don't forget, remember, Stats is preparing for a completely different matchup. That's not going to just, of course, devoid him of Oracle control and things like that, but I like the choice of build for him so far. It's Daybreak. Even though the third base is far away, you put any sort of pressure on the Terran player, like this Phoenix follow-up harass that we're going to see. It makes it very difficult for the Terran to attack that far away third base. And the Terran is always really going to struggle to have a third base against any sort of aggression on this map. If Maru knew about the fast third base, he might be able to punish it with some aggression of his own, because there's not a lot of standing army for Stats. He has 3 Phoenixes and I think 1 Adept. I think that's his entire army right now. But because he simply just doesn't know, he's kind of hunkered up in his base here, getting stem, combat shields, no third CC, just powering up an army, a ground-based army, with a pretty quick double tech lab here, so he can have a large Marauder force, he can have these double upgrades quickly. But obviously his economy is going to suffer as a result. He's just kind of sitting back on the defensive here, as the Phoenixes haven't really shown.
You know, he's probably just going to be waiting for that stim, combat shields +1, timing to go across the map, start putting on some pressure. But the Phoenixes, if they are in position, they definitely can shut down a bit of that. But as we were talking about, this third base being this far ahead is going to be fantastic for Stats here. Phoenixes just flying on in, seeing what they can see.
With what Maru is doing here, like, you can see he's, in terms of army value, right? Like, he has a large army. He didn't make a third CC. He's producing a lot of Marines. He's going to have these big upgrades. He's going to have this timing. So Stats needs to ward this off. He's adding 5 gateways right now because finally he's hit the return on this third nexus. He has the money to support all these additional gateways. He's got glaives. He's going to have a ton of adepts to defend. This is a tight window Maru has to hit. And Stats is trying to use his Phoenixes to slow this down, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's working. Maru is going to move across the map right now with this large ground army. Phoenix is not going to be too great against this almost pure marine bio ball that's going to be heavily upgraded here.
Yeah, the only thing they're going to be good at is picking up the Widow Mines if you can get the detection in place to deal with that. Maru, historically, just always fantastic at taking out observers in the sky. And we'll see how and if he can actually hold this off. He's going to be forcing this fight, actually forced to pick up the Marines in the front. All the Widow Mines in the back here, not really getting those hits.
Yeah, he doesn't need them yet, though, but this army has thinned out quite a bit because Stats actually avoided those Widow Mines so well. He actually made it simply complete the Shade, decides not to. The Shades could have drawn the Widow Mines back into those Marines. This is a tiny army now. And I think Stats has pretty successfully shut this down. This drop's going to get shut down by Phoenixes as well. This was a risky choice by Maru to do this against Phoenixes.
Yeah, and he gets totally punished for it. Now what has he got? Like, a couple of good Widow Mine hits, but he's forced to back off. And this third base has been mining for ages. This army will definitely get cleaned up. I don't think Maru can even stay here.
No, the thing is, the only reason why he's still here is because if he knows if he picks up, the Phoenixes are going to kill everything anyways. He's just trying to make this valuable in some way. Gets the Observer.
That he does.
And, I mean, that's all he's going to get. He splits them out of X, which is actually nice. He's going to send a third drop in. And look at the supply now. Maru has no third base. This is just dropped on the ground fresh by the SCV. No way to transition now. He's going to have to rely on his harass and his multitasking as his push was shut down. There's several adepts here already. 4 more being warped in. This shouldn't be a problem.
Immediate warp in there from Stats. It looks like he did take some damage, but will be cleaned up. That one Widow Mine at the third base is actually quite annoying. He should clean that up. I hope he did recognize that it's there. It looks like he hasn't.
Okay, it looks like he doesn't have detection here because that observer sniped earlier, so he's just setting them off one by one, or sending probes one by one to set them off. This situation for Maru now just feels hopeless. How can he hope to take a third base with a puny army that he's currently working on rebuilding? How can he pressure the third base against Phoenixes now? How can he find drops? When you're behind his Terran, especially if you look at a player like Maru, historically, drops are his forte. He's good at dropping, he's good at out multitasking his opponents, but you can't do that versus Phoenixes. They just counter that type of play. And so he's got this late third base with no hope of harass. And I'd say he's really just going to have to, I guess, turtle, hope for a big fight win.
Well, I really like Stats' response, too, where he's like, okay, I totally held that off with flying colors. Your third base is massively late. I'll just take a fourth and also tech into double Robo Colossi because I can. And the next time you decide to move out on the map, you're going to get totally crushed. There's no way he can win against this army if there's a straight-up fight. He's going to have to pull out some really spicy shenanigans here if he wants to come back in this game.
Absolutely, and that's said straight from the mouth of the spicy salmon himself. And look, I mean, how he can't win the air war in terms of Vikings, so he's going to try to win it with the Liberators. These Shades are never going to commit. They only serve as a reminder as to why Maru cannot take a third base, why taking this third base is so difficult. And it's just like constant feigned pressure here. Maru trying to punish this now, but unsuccessful. Shades do get canceled. He does finally have that third base landed at the same time that the fourth base probe transfer hits for Stats. Stats has the better upgrades. He's even getting Thermal Lance. And Maru, again, he's going to have to take some miraculous fight. And I think that's going to come down to these Liberators. Perhaps Stats makes a mistake, or maybe he loses his Phoenixes to Widow Mine. That's what Maru's banking on here. And, as close as they get to max, the better chance he has. So the fact that he has this third base up and running now is a good, I guess, consolation prize for how the early game went for him.
The only other thing that he might be able to do is attack right before the Colossi come out. There's only one right now, and there is not Thermal Lance. So if he attacks right now, he's got an okay chance. We'll see how he can do. Looks like Stats is just going to give up the 4th base. He's doing so much damage to the economy of Maru at the same time. He knows that it's going to be 3 base versus 3 base. He knows he just needs maybe 30, 40 seconds to get out a couple extra Colossi with Thermal Lance, and then he can take the fight.
Just like this, you're absolutely right. Force field's going down here. The Colossi just mowing down this army. Maru's got no economy at home, and this will be the end. He didn't need to defend that base. He didn't need to force the fight. All he needed to do was sacrifice it, win the 2nd fight, because as you said, they're on 3 base to 3 base, but Maru lost all SCVs at his natural and his 3rd base, so it's really 3 base to 1 base now. He defends the fight, catches reinforcing, or rather retreating units here with the Phoenixes. Man, it looks like we are going into a 1-0 stats here. That's just such an incredible player right now, and really shows here in his crisis management.
Oh. Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with you. Like, this is why he is the GSL champion. He's like, okay, what do I need to do to win right now? And he does it perfectly, you know. So, really nicely done. This is going to be the follow-up to the fight that we had before, and that is going to be game 1 here, going to Stats. GG.
GG, there you have it. Pretty one-sided. Maru had a terrifying push to come across the map, but he just did not get the fight he wanted because Stats avoided engaging Widowmines. Widowmines never got hits that they were looking for. And the rest of the game just kind of tells the rest of the story, right? When you hit a 3-base Protoss who played pretty greedy, he defends the 1st wave, his 5 gateways finish, he gets a 2nd wave of units. The rest of the game just tells itself. You tell anyone who's been watching StarCraft for a long time those few sentences, and they're like, I already know how the late game goes. He's desperate, he tries, he can't find any damage because the Phoenixes are out, and he slowly loses the game. Maru was just hoping for something, some micro mistake trying to hit before those Colossi, as you mentioned, but Stats sacked the 4th base. That's all she wrote. So Stats looking to take this one 2-0 if he keeps playing like this. Despite all the prep we talked about for Maru in execution, Stats the better player here.
Yeah, it's definitely the way it went in game number 1. Game 2 will be on Newkirk Precinct, so things will definitely be mixed up with a very different map. And so this will be Maru's chance to tie it up, try to take a game here off of the current GSL champion. We'll see if he could do it right now heading into set number 2 on Newkirk.
Maru, 조성주. 스텝, 김대영.
Here we are on Newkirk Precinct, down in the bottom right. The blue Terran, it is Maru.
There he is. He doesn't look too happy about that last loss. His opponent, as mentioned, current GSL defending champion, it is Splice's Stats. A little support from Solar yesterday at the GSL finals. Coming down to see him there at the finals and then showing up to congratulate him after. Of course, 2 Splice members together, and you can definitely feel the camaraderie between the two. You see a gas first coming out here from Maru as Newkirk Precinct, in terms of air distance, feels like a fairer, more balanced Metalopolis, if you will, as the short rush distance by air can allow you to do fast Widowmine drops and things of the nature. So if Stats, goes for like a blind Phoenix build, this could be a problem. But I think that this is a solid opening by Maru. When we saw this map in Challenger, actually, with TY versus Classic, it was a BC carrier fest, and things got out of hand.
Maru's getting a little bit of inspiration from that. He's like, all right, you want to take game number 1? We're going 40 minutes here. Hope you enjoy this game, Stats. That'd be cool to see. I feel like this map is another variation of the Fat Scrap Station, right? Like Arena style, but obviously a lot more fair and a lot more balanced. So I do enjoy this map. I think it's quite good.
That's actually a good map comparison, Arena, in terms of the air distance. No islands per se. I mean, you could take the base a little in the middle, but you have to proxy to clear the rocks for those. But I suppose this is probably going to be a Stargate, the problem with doing this is you really weaken yourself to drops if you don't do a lot of damage, because then your Stargate gets unpowered, you don't have Phoenixes to control the air anymore. Could be something totally unusual, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Stargate once he hits that 150. There it is.
There it is, and this SCV doesn't fully scout the main, so doesn't see quite the fact that there's one missing pylon.
He still is suspicious regardless, and if he hits this probe, he's definitely going to know. Ooh, he knows 100%. You saw that blue blip there, he clicked on it. Now he knows it's there, he just doesn't know where it is. And Stats is going to be kicking himself for actually sending the probe home for some greedy extra mining. Even the Reaper tracks down the probe, so the probe's going to pay for this with its life, likely. The Adept comes out to save it. Maru, what?
Okay, it's a proxied starport of his own, and
he knows it's out there, right?
He knows that probe didn't just go scout the top of the map for no reason.
I wonder if he's just going to defend this with Widow Mines and even go like Banshees or something like that to counterattack, or just make a Viking to try to chase this down. And look at this. Oh, it's actually going to get killed potentially before it finishes.
Oh, man, it definitely will be. That's going to go down. One last hit immediately canceled. That is huge.
So painful to lose that. Now he's going to have a Viking to deal with that Oracle coming across. He has the Widow Mine. He has a second one on the way, and he's got several Marines here actually on his ramp, I believe, just to make sure they're kind of in position to deal with both. No turrets, of course. Yeah, this is already tons of damage.
Yeah, this is already really nice. He can fight against the Marines. It's not enough. He's going to be able to take out 2 SCVs, 4 Marines, and probably...
Mules? Oh!
Yep, that's going to be 2 and an extra SCV. That's 4 in total, 5. This is way too much damage.
Kills a spawning SCV. The Reaper came back. I'm not sure what he was hoping to accomplish against that, but he's going to go back across the map. Now, Stats knows this is just a free third, and that Maru is kicking himself. He's making a Cyclone. He has no Marines. The limiting of damage here is due to...
Oh, he gets the Widow Mine.
The limiting of damage is just due to the fact the Oracle didn't have enough energy, okay? It was not because Maru defended. He would have killed every SCV and the game would be over if that Oracle had more energy.
This, my friends, is the GSL champion coming in here, okay? Really nice scouting there. Sees the starport, comes in, does win in terms of the early build order here. And Maru not able to defend in time for the Oracles. Stats is going to get a massive lead. And once again, I'm excited to see what Maru is going to try to do to come back from this situation.
I mean, he's getting Cyclones, which, I mean, obviously he could try to do a counter push with them. We've seen a few Cyclone drops recently. TOI was doing a little bit of that in Challenge, but the elephant in the room is this Nexus. I mean, he's got 3 bases now. He has the saturation at 50 probes to support these Nexi, and he has time with to buy for these 3 gateways to finish, to have enough units. And even if if Maru was even a little bit faster this push, it just feels so puny because of the Marines that were killed early. He doesn't even get this Adept initially. We'll get it eventually. But it slowed down the push slightly, you know. No Mothership Core, actually, though. That's somewhat of a problem. I didn't realize he didn't have that.
Oh, the Stasis Ward. That's so good. It catches both of the Cyclones. Going to take away a lot of the damage that could have gone down onto the pylons. These 2 buildings are going to be canceled.
That Stasis Ward just won Stats the game, I feel, in terms of the last nail in the coffin. You know, he's famous for his Stasis Wards now in Korea, of course, from his final yesterday, where he used them against his opponent, Sue, in the finals. But, I mean, this is just... I mean, I don't even know what to say here. I just feel bad.
Yeah, this is a follow-up to what happened earlier on, and the Stasis Ward, as you said, just confirms it. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to force Maru to do a bit of a fantasy GG timing. You can see Maru actually wiping his nose right now. He's like, well,
I mean, realistically,
I don't know what I'm going to do here.
That Stasis couldn't have hit better targets. It hit specifically the 2 Cyclones, the 2 units he needed to secure that bunker, secure that turret, and start that slow push. And now, this is just an epilogue of the finished game. If you guys are curious what happened after the game ended a few moments ago. As Stats, you know, he has a fully mining 3rd base. He has Blink in just a second. He can blink into the main base. He has, you know, a Robo coming up. He's missing Glaze, but, you know, He just has the
way.
he has the numbers he needs to just dominate the rest of this. Even if he can't kill Maru per se right now, he just continues to keep him on 2 bases. That's why his Siege Tank's coming out right now. He doesn't want to make that, but he has to.
I wonder if he's almost forgotten about those Oracles, or he's just waiting until the push goes down because, well, they're just sitting there with a ton of energy. Okay, it looks like finally he's going to bring one. Maybe harass that natural. This scan is going to see how many probes he has, and he's just going to be like, God, what do I do from here? Revelation comes down.
Can just pick the Widow Mine.
Yeah.
Sees the tank, and he's like, all right, well, we'll just play your game if you want. I mean, I'll just keep you on 2 bases and take a 4th. He's probably going to take a 4th very soon. Can continue to pressure while doing so. Maru does have a large amount of production set up for when he does have that 3rd base, and he does have the 3rd CC, but he's not going to have, you know, the economy to support all of this right now. Double starport, all these extra, you know, all these extra barracks. It's going to be very difficult to make this transition. He's going to try to do what TY did already. The Fusion Core is coming up, but he can't support. He cannot make triple starport BCs on 2 bases. He cannot.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. He needs to take the 3rd base, and he knows it. And Stats is like, well, I dare you. You know, go for it, man.
That's where we're at.
How that works.
And he actually may just attempt to snipe this while the Siege Tanks are out of range, force it to lift again.
Yeah, actually surprised that he's not shelling that right now.
Yeah,
he's like giving Maru almost a little bit too much room. He's like being too safe. Waiting perhaps for another warp in. As you said, he does have a 4th Nexus on the way too.
Here comes a drop too. Okay, he's going to threaten a shade. I don't think he will commit to this, although he very well might. You know what, he has Blink too.
Yeah.
He actually is going to commit to this, and he's just going to stomp this.
Yeah, he gets underneath everything, takes out the 1 Liberator in the sky. The tank's not doing enough damage. GG Stats takes the 2-0.
Don't even need to shell that CC, man. GSL champion comes in, bops Maru there. That was, you know, you and I said if we had to predict, we would choose Maru based on the fact that he has such a lead in preparation. He has so much to study and watch for. And we can even look as far back as how Stats was playing in his finals against Innovation for the IEM Gyunki finals. There's so much PvD to study for him. There's so much to prepare for. He's the only player, you know, really left in the team house here, along with SOS, the Jin Air players. They're in a team house, and Stats just annihilated him there, shut down everything he threw at him. I feel like this game went wrong the moment he decided to make the proxy starport. I mean, if he just made that at home, the whole game could have looked different. But he canceled it at, like, it's always tough to cancel a proxy starport, right? You cancel it at 10%, 20%, it's so painful. You cancel it at 98%, it's the most painful.
Yeah, the Adept got over there in pretty much the perfect time. And Stats, well, perhaps we underestimated just how good he could play, even without preparation, without too much rest. And, well, he's able to take the 2-0, so redeems himself after the 1-2 loss to his teammate Solar last week, and will definitely be in a better position going into next week.
I have to say, unfortunate by Maru. Didn't really get the performance we wanted from him, but guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break before we go to the 3rd match. Innovation up against former teammate Dark.